better and go further than they have before. This could be the last map of ECS Season 5. It's up to these two teams to decide it. Well, that's interesting. The P250 to take the duels in mid and keep the CTs on it. Stop the CTs running up mid immediately. So we see some differences. Glaive looking towards the short position. He spots one player and falls back. 3 players on A for Astralis.
Now we see things settling to the 2-3 split, and it's pretty difficult here for Astralis just due to the fact that one of the most dangerous things on this map will always be the B split. If you can get a really quick B split where the CTs are still sitting on long, still sitting in these kind of deep positions on A, it's very powerful. But enough about the B split, because we have the A push jumping down off the catwalk, trying to split 2-3, the low ground, the high ground, trying to use all of that to their advantage. But Device looks very calm at the moment, still having to try to drop out of position, back into elevator, back into CT spawn, still somehow alive. A 3v3 here for both sides as we look at this post-plant situation. Things getting quite tense. Magisk really needs to unlock this frag, but he can't do it. Device can, but maybe there's been some space created now.
Taco up close. He's got the bullets for this. Magisk has to find a headshot soon, and he does. And there goes Nafly as well. Liquid, they planted for short. They kept a player on short. They had the control, but it is a pistol round after all. Sometimes you get shot in the face. 1-0 Astralis. Not the start that Liquid wanted.
One of the best things about the comeback from Liquid in the previous map and is I think that it's really served, of course they didn't win it, but in basically threatening Astralis' victory so heavily, they humbled Astralis. A lot of the confidence we saw Astralis going to this match with, they should be in a position where they are more humbled and they have to respect Liquid. And Liquid will be taking a force supply straight into that B bomb site. This is going to be interesting. Oh, hello! Twist with a CZ headshot. Dispatches Magisk, and they have a 5-man setup on the B bomb side. This will be tough to break for Astralis.
Dupree, here's the movement. Here's Taco jumping. Taco trying to get away, just about makes it. Can they hold on? That's the question. Dupree lurking in the halls, but he does not have the range of the MP9 versus Kevlar, but Twist and Taco are very tagged. He's got to be late on alert because there are 3 outside B. These guys have to be the ones running distraction. The smoke coming in from the CT side. Nafly drops for Dupree Device. There's a trade 2-on-2 now. Taco in that car position, but Elise will clean up with the UMP. And this is a better round for Liquid to win, resetting Astralis immediately.
It was very cool to see them just go for that force buy with the UMPs here. Really fast playing to the bomb site. Keep that pace up high straight away. And the T's when they take over the economy. And when you start to deny the AWPs from the CT side, things do get really tough, honestly, because there's enormous ranges on this map to deal with. And one of the ways to mitigate the fact that your rotations between bomb sites can be slow is by being able to be an effective support for, let's say, the A players or the B players by taking these long ranges with an AWP. Now, of course, we're going to see the scout in play here from Device. And so far, not working out for him. Nitro on the scout as well. Hello. That is some good damage onto Elise. Got to be careful. You don't want to get tagged up by the scout too many times. Those Deagles will now be just a one-shot away from a kill onto Elise. Nice pop flash there. The long take comes in from Team Liquid. No one there, though.
You've got to be careful with this car position, however, especially on the main buy rounds, because you have to have pretty specific and high flashbangs for the position. It's very easy to avoid flashes if you are behind that car, but nobody is. Although they don't know that, so it is a threat for the time being. Device with many targets. Can he keep peppering these players? And his teammate on short can clean up. The Molotov stops him from changing position. And he's forced down to the CZ. Nitro with a number of headshots, and Liquid prevail.
A good start then from Liquid. Able to quickly turn the tide, turn the tables on the Astralis players. The Danes in a bit of economic hardship at the moment, to say the least. Down to those USPs. We've got a flash onto Device there, but that's basically the only investment in this round. So this will be a nice and easy one for Team Liquid to build some cash, get some easy kills. It's nice. It's nice when you don't have to work too hard for the round, James. It's nice. It feels good. It feels good.
Nice. Magisk in CT. Can't expect much, don't get much. Well then, let's see what kind of shape Astralis are in for the buy round. Device has 58-50. AWP, of course. How they approach the mid position. No sniper rifle for Liquid for the moment. If they have an opportunity, will they take it if they win this round? That remains to be seen. How do they avoid the device in the meantime? Bouncing a smoke off the wall. This allows the CTs to make their way through towards B without being seen by a sniper who might be in T spawn.
Yeah, having device on the AWP now is so important. Not too much utility here for Astralis, and that's where things could get awkward. It makes the set pieces quite strong for Team Liquid. But have to hold that fort because, oh, device challenge, he's actually going to whip the shot. That is a big problem. Now Glaive has to deliver with the rifle. He's got one so far, able to duck behind cover down onto the ramp, and he's got assistance coming in from long as well. Now the numbers start to get a bit troublesome here for Liquid. That's, as I say that, 3 headshots, and the round's over. So, didn't seem that troublesome after all. Team Liquid 4 now to the 1 of Astralis.
Very brief indeed. I think Twist was going to try to pick up the AWP, but doesn't seem to be terribly important for the time being. In fact, Nitro's going to buy one. So maybe this is where they want to be. But knowing that Astralis are on an eco round, I always find it interesting in this situation, although as far as SMGs are concerned, there are a lot longer ranges on Dust 2, so it's a bigger consideration than it might be on some other maps on an anti-eco or anti-force fight. Device only good for the 1 kill in that situation. There can be some awkward angles here. And you see on the corner of short towards this position, it used to be a curved wall which made it really easy to flash yourself in. Now there's a small window, so you have to do a jump throw if you want to make a fast play towards short. Glaive and Zipex left. Now it's just Zipex with a CZ. Looking for damage at this point. And now he could pick up an AK. Twist is close though, dropping the Molotov, but Zipex escapes with the AK. Doesn't know where the bomb is going just yet. The aim punch, even though it's improved, still bad enough to allow Nafly to get an easier kill there.
Yeah, Liquid giving Astralis some of the same treatment that they received on that first half of Mirage, but an ability now to change the approach with the additional economy will allow Astralis to go to the double AWPs, and that is really important on Astralis. You have to be able to get those double AWPs going. It's really critical. We'll see if it's effective though. We've got Nitro on the AWP there for the Team Liquid side, and we'll see the 3 players of Astralis. Now you have to run to long quickly to try to challenge this take, and it's going to be very tough for Liquid to try to hold on to this. They're going to try to challenge for it though. It's not going too well here. Who gives up on this first? In comes the AWP as well.
Can Glaive go deep enough to bait for his teammate? Look at the awareness from Elige. Before he even sees him, the Molotov is there. He knows what the plan is, and Elige cleans out the long area. Now what do? They try and move plays up short. They're considering abandoning along, it seems. You can see the discussion as they move around on the radar. Elige heading towards the doors and then coming back. All 3 players now in the long position. And Dupree still has an AWP. Seems they will try to boost the player, but will it be fast enough? Team Liquid are expectant, it seems. Switching the weapons out. Elige is the heavily tagged player, so he takes the sniper rifle. They can keep a player long, especially now they've picked off 1 player and tried to plant for that position. Dupree with a headshot onto Nitro, and he will make a rotation.
This is pretty smart for Dupree. Although, Team Liquid do have to ask some questions as to the delay here on any kind of a repeat from Dupree on Catwalk. We can see that already. Nafly is looking at the position, but AWP versus M4. The M4 will win out as the angle was pretty damn good behind that car. Your body's mostly covered, and that's round 6 for Team Liquid. Astralis back in the doldrums here, and you can see this was always one of these really difficult situations for the CTs. Taking control of long first. You have to take it with 3 players, and this is a conditioning that Team Liquid can offer towards Astralis. If they continually, at the beginning of rounds, threaten long really heavily, Astralis is going to have to pull 3 players at the start of rounds to a long. If they do that, they become really susceptible to fast B hits because the rotation's so far.
Tactical timeout from Astralis will have soon elapsed. Not much they can offer in this round. Wow, look at that. Where are the parents? Oh, he's right there. Bloody hell. Have a word. See what the CTs can do. Glaive with a HE grenade, 2 smoke grenades, a bunch of pistols. Again, guys, make sure if you are watching at home, your YouTube account is connected to your Faceit account. They've given away 1 million points in the last few minutes. 6-1. 7-1 is expectant, but you never know with Astralis.
Flash play from Elige, but there's a trade set up. Oh my goodness, the Deagle close range does the job there for Dupree. And Twist goes for the trade. can't quite find it. It's such a timely smoke to block the vision of Twist. And a 5v4 here for Astralis. But these CT eco rounds are really difficult, unlike a lot of maps, like, you know, your Infernos and you know, nukes and so on and so forth, where you can get these close and mid-ranges fairly consistently and short rotations. Dust 2 is the opposite. It's very difficult for the CTs to close these advantages with these pistols.
Does he aim towards CT immediately? Because if he does, Device is going to whack him like it's an episode of Sopranos. 3 players on A. Astralis in control of long, 2 players on short. Liquid a man down. They've got 2 mollies. They can molly the sights in front of Zipex. There is said molly. Oh, that's a nice shot, the last bullet. All right then, dupreeh, again, allowing his teammate to bait for him, but now he's exposed. They can try to pick him off, but they must fear the car position as well. And Device is coming in from the back. Oh, he's missed the first shot, but the second one's good enough. 4 on 1 all of a sudden. To the victor, the spoils.
That's really rough. It's a round where you have so many advantages and they just struggle to close it down. And that can also, you know, be a factor of, again, this map being newly added again to the pool, and it is different to the old Dust 2. There's lots of small, you know, differences when it comes to some of the angles and how they play out and so on and so forth. So
really, it
makes it difficult to actually have really routine drills for rounds like that.
Did you see the last winner? I don't even know. 2-6. Astralis back in the game now. 3 players moving in for a very fast bleed split, it seems. dupreeh sees somebody by the door, the flashbang starts to rain in, but how can they keep them blind? Zipex has angles jumping up over the mid to B smoke. Nitro now moving through the smoke. Oh boy, okay then. The train is there though, and now no one's on the site to plant the bomb. Magis can enjoy it on his own. Taco looking to flank, but Device is still in position. There is a shadow given away from this angle, but Device can't do anything about it. 2 versus 1 now, they know where Taco is. Both players moving into the sites. Plenty of time for Taco. As you can see, as the Molotov goes down, Glaive crosses in. Oh, he's going all the way around. Okay. So Taco will expect both players to have a crossfire set up in the site, but instead, Glaive's gone towards T-spawn.
I think he's trying to have an off angle if in case he's pushing the dark position, but it wasn't the case. That gamble's not paid off. Taco looks for the clutch. He makes it work. A 3K from Taco. It did not look very doable, but he holds his nerve and he makes it happen. That's a huge round for Team Liquid. That crushes Astralis, but they do have orbs to go to. Oh, that's a rough one, James. That call from Glaive. I mean, he wanted to have the backstab opportunity if Taco pushed through the upper dark position, but he gambled wrong, unfortunately.
You never know. Twist, picked off by one of the 2 sniper rifles. Again, Liquid a man down early. Now in the eco, didn't quite work out for them, afterwards. They all pushed in the same direction. No split of the A site. Nafly's holding an angle outside A doors for the time being. Glaive is getting hungry for information as they lose the short presence. Now Glaive must hold on to long. We see Zipex moving quietly through CT spawn as they have no eyes on this area. The T's could be creeping. dupreeh was making his way towards CT from B. Patient Nitro picks him off, and now Taco can, I was going to say sell a fake, but they're starting to abandon the A site, and time might be of the essence here. He spots Mattis through the crack, and that's an empty B bomb site.
Charles in a horrible spot, and there's really not all that much they can do other than keep hold of these valuable weapons and Kevlar and so on and so forth. Team Liquid having a great showing here. It's funny that, you know, the only round which they've really struggled on was against those low buys of Astralis. It's funny how that works out. It always seems to be the way. Team Liquid looking quite decisive and quite dominant here. I'm curious as to when we'll see some of these early long takes again from them. Those are very powerful. You can take some very fast map control. You can get some slightly better timings than the CTs with the help of some grenades. CTs often have to take 3 players there to have enough grenades, have enough players to trade if it is a fast play, and then you kind of disperse back into the 1-2 setup or the 2-1-2 across the map as the CTs. This could be a rough half, James. Like Astralis, they have their backs against the wall at the moment in this situation. And Dust 2 was always a difficult map when you had a poor economy as a CT side to find a way to be aggressive. It was always very difficult. Astralis were one of the innovators in that situation. And what they used to do back in the old Dust 2 is Astralis would suggest certain setups and actually play the opposite, so that they would lure a team into thinking, oh, you've only got 1 or 2 players there, but in fact they have 3 or 4 stacked there. And that was something that they innovated, and it was by creating these kind of false tells. I wonder if they still have that in their playbook.
Elige is 12-4-5 at the moment. Countdown comes in. Let's see what Astralis can do. Not the most ideal buy, but not the most ideal situation. Needs must. Nitro watching the cross, but again that smoke is down. Learn this at home. Bounce it off the box. Very simple to do. Very effective. Magisk being boosted. This is a very difficult angle to check, and as you can see from the angles that Astralis are playing, again it's a bait setup. They've been so strong with these bait setups on the CT side. Keeper sees it out. Here's the footsteps, and there is it. It's good for 2 kills. His teammate's down, but he's got time to reload. Backs all the way towards the car position, elevates himself to get shot in the legs, and that's 3 kills on B.
Yeah, they have the bomb on the B bomb side though in the 2v3, and they have some grenades left to try to block off some of the choke points. But look at the timing here, just darting in. They know that right now Liquid are trying to dart across to get the bomb planted, and in that moment maybe there's a chance to get a quick sneaky frag, but they are denied. Nitro, gotta be careful of these smokes. I think he hears the stepping now of Glaive as he's made his way through the second one, and there it is. Nitro spots him. Both players now known by Team Liquid. Nitro can't connect though. Back to the CZ. Oh, that's so nice from Nafly. 1 more to go. The AWP is out though for a device, and Naf makes it happen. Crisp CZ play from him.
And I bet you he's not smiling at all. Absolute beast. Time and time again. Straight in the head. 9 bullets, then there's 6 bullets left. This is not easy to do with a CZ, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. 9-2, Astralis. Almost a complete USP round. The odd thing being picked up, trying to avoid getting shot. Nafly just counting the sheep. 3 players at long. Nitro will be joined by 2 mates. Very fortunate. Did wonder if you might lose an AK there. So long as in control of Team Liquid, Elige getting his bell rung, but not showing the bomb. The bomb's on a different player now. Do they go for a simple split? Keep 1 man here. These are ranges. Astralis will surely not want to engage trying to retake A. That would be, sorry, A long. That would be madness. So Team Liquid can leave 1 or 2 players here and focus the rest of the team elsewhere. Try to thin the players out, show presence. Astralis will know at least 1 person is on long. But that's all they know.
These pistols were a problem before. There was more deagles though. And Team Liquid going with a pretty solid anti-eco. This choke point's a little bit wider. It's harder to smoke it off, but they have everyone there. So shouldn't be difficult to hold the tide of CTs. And this is a strong, or should be a strong push. Again, you've got the rifles against the pistols. The 2 USPs there. And we'll see that the rifles eventually will just overpower with brute force. The Astralis defense there, ill-equipped. And now it's a 10-2 scoreline. Astralis really struggling.
3 rounds left in the first half. 3 rounds remain. And we see Device with the AWP. AWP no Kevlar. 4 riflers moving past. 2 headed towards the bomb site. Is this a rush from Liquid? I think it is. They're charging in. What can the CTs do about this? We've got flashbangs all over the shop. All 5-6 players are flashed. And that's going to slow down the push a little bit. They're stuck around the choke point, stuck around the smoke. And Astralis can buy time. Zipex making his way over now. And Liquid abandon ship.
I wonder if Team Liquid actually thought that the site was cleared. Because obviously there was still a player that we could see at car, and they go for the instant rotation, which would actually be pretty effective, because right now, Nitro, for example, could have caught them rotating towards the B bomb site, but Astralis immediately understand that B is completely safe. And so they spread out into pretty catch-all positions. They're pretty good to go against anything that Liquid could throw at them, whether it's a B split, whether it's an A split, whatever it looks like. Astralis are looking good to defend here. Now they have one player at the car position, that would be Device, and he has the AWP. And he's the only guy really playing alone if they do push into the A site. And he's the ideal man to do so with the AWP from that position.
Only Device. He missed shots last time, he can't miss them this time. Has he got the flick for Nitro? He won't be a double peek. He's got a warning now. He's seen the gun. That'll make things a lot easier, but Twist moving over. In the meantime, I think he might have shot him through the wall with the first shot, and then finish him with another shot in the face. Either way, 2 versus 3, man advantage for Astralis. Glaive, they line up for him, and that's the round. They can pick up the bounty, the AKs, the AWP. Zebex gets an upgrade as well.
Right, this could be the point where Astralis get themselves a respectable scoreline. Still 5 rounds possible on that CT side. If they do get the 5 rounds, obviously Team Liquid have sort of made them look not so great in some of these rounds, and it's looked very dominant for Team Liquid, but the T side of Dust 2 is very often can be very strong like this, so we can absolutely expect Astralis to be able to replicate it. They've had some struggles in some of their T sides in this tournament, but it is Dust 2. Ooh, Naf is going to the Krieg. Like to see that.
That's not a Krieg, that's an auto sniper, and I can't imagine that's
so it is
deliberate, but there's nothing in the chat, so is this... Wait, they've got spawns to rush B, but they've got 2 sniper rifles, so surely they can't be doing a rush of 2 snipers. So what in the blazes does Naf have in mind with an auto sniper? You don't see auto snipers spawn on the T side, because the problem is, well, A, they're not really great, but B, if the CT side picks them up, they're considerably more useful for the CT side on pretty much any map.
Here we go. Oh, yes. Nothing will happen, though. So, there you go. But the thing is that
he'll have a sound when the police come down.
But he'll have enough money to, you know, have an AK next round. There's probably one on the ground for him as well. And there it is. It's the spam of the doors. The Dust 2 classic.
It all makes sense now.
It all makes sense.
Normally it's a last round special, but now it's a second last round special.
Device is a good peek here. And he's not actually going to be able to take the shots. There's a quick incendiary, and he just goes past it. Oh, that's a really important frag. However, his teammates are not able to do as much damage towards the long position. Glaive still alive, nice flash from him. Oh, Nitro's not blind though, and he's gonna eliminate Glaive quite quickly.
Big question though. Glaive, I think, was blind, so we don't know if anything came up on the radar for him. If it did, if he sees all 3 players are there, that's a lot of information for Astralis, but we have to assume that he doesn't. And just now, I think he's holding a line towards the short position, and Team Liquid are moving all the way towards B, and no one is looking through mid doors in time to see this.
And Liquid actually dropped the smoke to suggest that they're going to be going A. That CT smoke is a better version of dropping the smoke on the cross. Going into the A site, and they go for the fast B. Astralis do read it though, but they have to defend it. Magisk gets a good spray on the first player, but it's now down to the 3 players of Liquid that are on the bomb site. The bomb is down, there's 50 seconds to pick it up. There's just 1 player left, of course. HUD is going to be fixed in a moment. We'll see whether or not Nitro is able to save this round. 17 health against 2 AWPs. An awkward situation for both teams. He has no grenades. Is it a fake? Oh, he gets called out immediately by Dupree. Beautiful there. No hesitation from the man.
Round number 4 for Liquid. No plant. Sorry, for Astralis. No plant. And where does that leave the money for Team Liquid, who bought an auto sniper in the previous round because they had money to spend? Or did they? Taco now on a UMP, so it was a gamble. Sometimes gambles do not pay off. Liquid with some serious spawns towards the B bomb site. Is a B rush what it used to be though? Looks like a narrower choke point than it was previously. And Dupree has the HG grenade ready in case this happens. Big damage being done. Dupree, they're lining up for him. Misses the first shot though. The Magic now, he's round double stack, taking Nitro down. 3 more players to find. And they're only just now moving through that choke point. around the car. Two players that look like they're almost in the red. Dupree getting peppered through the door, but there are big advantages here for the CT side, spamming the grenades, spamming the flashbangs, but Liquid have the sights.
And they have a smoke and a Molotov. Those are really key. You re-smoke the door, you can Molotov the window. You don't want to smoke the window, makes it too easy for the CTs to run through. And so Liquid able to get some moment of calm here. It did not look like they were going to be able to take this bomb site, but they've managed to do it. Now they just have to hold against the final push from Astralis. 2 AWPs, 2 M4s, loads of grenades, diffuse kits, they're very healthy. Oh, what is that? Very fast reset there on Elige as he jumps up onto the stones. Zipex, though, will execute the remainder of the bomb sites, and it's just down to Twist, and he can only do so much against so many. Astralis, they give themselves more than a fighting chance going into the second half. It is 5 rounds for them, 10 for Liquid.
Now we have a game of Dust 2 on our hands. Very interesting to see. Well, I mean, you really can't tell which way this is going to go. We saw mirrors of halves on the previous map, but have no idea what to expect now from Astralis moving to the T side. Tactical timeout from Team Liquid, just to discuss what they want to do. They've always been, well, for a very long time, a team who can often have some interesting CT sides on maps, the most notable on Cache, starting the retake trend on A perhaps. What do they have in mind for Dust 2? Twist has picked up the HE grenade and the defuse kit, so that might suggest that he will be trying to contain a tight choke point. He could be playing towards B with that HE grenade. We will soon find out. 10 seconds before we get into the second half of Dust 2. Glaive with a flash and a smoke. The rest of his team on Kevlar, and Dupree has been given a P250.
Ooh, fancy. P250 is your best friend in a pistol round, and maybe you'll do Dupree some justice as well. Glaive with a single smoke and a flash. We'll have to see how he best decides to use those. This has to be so nerve-wracking for Astralis right now. If Liquid win this pistol, life will be very difficult indeed. Nafly not afraid to hold this angle. And we get a very old school stack there, which allows you to see the short position.
There's a crack in the wall now at the bottom, which is a nice goofy angle to play every now and then on occasion. Is Device expected? Probably not. Neither is Dupree. Can't do anything about it. Now there are 3 players in CT, but shooting through that door. Door's not going to be opened. 2 players in B apartments. In B halls rather. Nitro's got the range, but he has been shot in the head. He's baiting now for his teammate Naf. He's letting one guy go past, but he's a bit slow tracking there. Very unlike Naf. Very unlike Naf. That should have been a guaranteed kill. That's sure to frustrate him.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Nitro was the bait. Naf's job was to get the kill. That mistake could cost them, but Twist is here to save the day. He's shown great clutches so far, but he can't get down. What? He somehow gets a headshot there right before he goes down, but the round is won by Astralis. And interestingly, that stack that we see in middle, the 2 players there able to see short, that's something that went out of fashion in Dust 2 previously, because it was very easy to punish, and a lot of teams had started doing it, so it just fell out of the meta. And you can see here, you know, again, Dust 2's back. People have to be reminded of these things again.
Thought that one was on, but no. Right then. This is a true test for players like Naf. You may feel like that round was lost because he didn't get that kill, but that round is history now. You have to look forward, you have to forget about it. Sometimes things happen. Long taken by Astralis. Will they have the same idea and go all the same way? Really, to smoke this cross now, you need 2 smokes. You can't smoke it completely on both sides with just 1 smoke grenade. There is one being deployed, and there is the second one to cover the rest of the gap, and this is a problem. Deagle shots. Saw a scout shot earlier as well. Now Device only has 15 HP. He's 1 meat shot away from a butcher's table.
So the save here, save those Kevlars, save the helmets, save the Deagle CZ and Deagle. And a moment of silence, a moment to talk, a moment to reset yourselves mentally somewhat. As Astralis begin to close the distance. Now I think, you know, Astralis, they struggle to make the AWPs really work. And sometimes you can see AWPers completely take over a map on the CT side of Dust 2. Kenny S is a phenomenal example of that, one of the very first to really make this his complete playgrounds. I mean, Device too, back in the old days of Dust 2.
Old Dust 2 Device was amazing to watch on the
Yes.
CT side. Getting fast boosted on short. Playing some French teams who would always pop flash lower tunnel, so he would just face the wall, wait for the flash, and then wait for him to come out and shoot them. Every single round. It was really fun to watch. 7-10. Team Liquid on the pistols for the time being. Fighting with what they saved from the previous rounds. Another 250,000. They're really spamming these face-it point drops at the moment. So again, make sure your account is connected. There is a smoke for Long. Oh, they're lighting up for him. He doesn't even know. Glaive with 2 kills. Bonus money with the UMP as the kill. That leaves Taco alone very quickly indeed. Does he position himself outside long doors? Maybe he has a creep towards blue. We've got Device. He can stand top mid on his own. All he will lose is a scout, and that might not be so much use to Liquid in the next round. So he's the expendable man. Has he heard Device yet? I mean, Taco, sorry. I think he might have. I think he has, yeah. You see him looking left and right with the CZ. So Astralis have all the information. Now he moves away.
And speaking of objectives here, stealing a gun's always great, but you don't care about the UMP. You don't care about the scout in the situation. The next round they can buy anyway. That's what you want, the AK-47. That's what he was hunting for. And can he defend it now? And Astralis have to be cautious that they don't give up too much for this AK. And there's a jump, and then you can see how that works. Glaive uses, well, the jump is used to make him miss the first few bullets, and then it's impossible, even if he gets the first frag, to kill the trader. So very well done there by Astralis. They now go 8-10 of Team Liquid.
It really seems to me that Device heard Taco in spawn, so it's interesting that Magic's hunted with the AK. Worst case scenarios, you lose the AK. Best case scenario, you lose the scout. 8-10 indeed, both teams on the buy. No sniper for the CT side. Team Liquid, a team who don't feel compelled to have a sniper every round, but this is Dust 2, so we'll see when they have more money. You can see the lack of money, lack of grenades for Team Liquid in this round. Smoking short off deep, so they are lacking quite early on. Device playing around blue. Twist looking for it, not quite expecting it. Device will feel like he should have got that one as well. So Long has been retaken by Team Liquid, and Astralis must move on elsewhere.
Yeah, just gathering towards middle position. The good old pop flash from the top of the slope down in through the double doors to flash anyone who's playing the close position, which is a common position for CTs if they want to try to keep tabs on information.
Check out that angle from that. Very protected indeed. He can jump over these boxes on his own. Oh, I think they've got the high smoke grenade that stops him from looking towards the doors.
Yep.
Really smart stuff. Vintage Astralis.
Yeah, that's really important. We can go back to that point in a moment because the bomb site is now taken by Astralis. They're in a 4v3. There's still a chance for Liquid to do something here, but how do they fancy their chances here? 3 players left with M4s and Kevlars, and they want to save those, I think. Their money really sucks. If they are to survive with 3 players, they can easily buy in the next round. Nafly collects an AWP. Oh, he's got to survive. He's got to keep this AWP in play for the next round. It's really important. If he does so, they're going to have a really good look next round. And you can see that Dupree doesn't want to challenge that position by himself. And actually, Astralis losing some money here. So that's pretty good to see for Team Liquid fans. But as you mentioned, James, here, that double smoke is really cool because, again, right at the end of the Dust 2 previously, teams were abusing the fact that, you could just sit on the boxes and just look over the cross smoke very easily. So I love that we're seeing that straight away from Astralis.
Attention to detail, never too far away with teams like Astralis. Nitro has an AWP, and Liquid will buy around what they saved in the round prior. They still have a 1-round lead for the time being, and this is a really good buy for them. Taco has an MP9, but that aside, it's looking quite stellar. Again, both teams using the same smoke. There's a higher flash from Zipex. They're getting stuck on the corner, and there's no response. They can't go back to that. They have to assume. Now we have the 6th man advantage for Astralis because they've left Long, but Liquid have as well, and they have to assume it's compromised, and Nafla gets compromised in mid.
Really nice crack there from Magis pushing further in, and just look how they do this. This is a really classic round of Dust 2. We'll have to explain at the moment, see how Taco does in this situation. Gets a kill. Not ready for the trade fragger though. And this should be a pretty easy round now for Astralis. But to go back to the point, classic does 2 rounds. You go for the fast long take. It's very hard for the CT sometimes to get there in time, especially if you have a good spawn, if you have good nades. We see Zipix there. He has a flash, teammate has a flash. Simple as that. Gets a frag. Then they're playing a 5v4. They set up the B split after Liquid are stretched across the map. The B split becomes even stronger. And then you just roll in. You just roll into that bomb site. There's not too much they can do. So that's one of the reasons why the T side can be really powerful on this map. Once you get a pick on the CTs, it's so hard for them to understand how to cover everything.
Momentum firmly with Astralis now. They have won all of these 5 rounds in the second half. Liquid, do they need their backs firmly to the wall once again before they start to turn up here on this half of Dust 2? Some highlights from Nitro towards the end, but ultimately he will lose the AWP to a 4K of Zipex. How significant, though, is that damage? There's a fair amount of money on Astralis, so they will have to buy up a lot more. We'll see if one player goes cheap to take out some ecoing CTs. Pistols, Kevlar here and there, the odd flashbang for Team Liquid. All rifles for Astralis. The taps from Zipex won't do anything fatal just yet. 3 players in B. And Liquid have fast boosted 1 player on short. They'll go for 4 players in B in total. Astralis are going straight into the stack immediately. Putting the flashbang. Look how narrow that funnel is. The grenades forcing them back further. That's an abandoned ship already, but Elige has been taken down in the mid-area by Zipex and Spawn. And that gives Astralis a breathing room.
Yeah, and you love to see this. You know, just leaving Device there. They could leave him there alone, actually, for a time and try to retake the middle position. The only issue, though, is that it's kind of sketchy at this point of the round to try to go back through the tunnels in towards Xbox, because there's so many close ranges the ECS could be playing. So they're just going to hold with Device, keep him safe from any pushes from the lower dark position. And there's only so much here now that Team Liquid can do. Twist is out of position. Nitro has very little health. And speaking of the lower dark play, Twist will be perhaps swinging into that potentially. Maybe not going and combining forces with Nitro. Set up a crossfire at the very least. Astralis playing it safe. Should be good to go now at this point. Just 1 player left. I thought this was going to be a disaster, James. I'm looking at this, and I'm surprised that only 1 player is dead for Astralis.
That's what calm comms can do for you. They're all screaming and panicking. They probably would have just barreled in there and been annihilated. But they've got cool heads, Astralis.
Yeah, I think you raise a really good point there. Having really clean comms protocols, or having 1 word, which means a sentence, to initiate a fallback procedure of some description, it goes a very long way in professional Counter-Strike.
Boom. There it is. Max loss bonus. Do we see 1 sniper rifle? Do we see 2? We need a change. There's the first one onto Nafly, so I'm expecting a second sniper rifle. Elige, Twist, Nitro haven't bought just yet. I think we're seeing a tactical timeout from Liquid. Indeed we are. So something hasn't been working for Liquid in this half. They've got to change it up. Although with this tactical timeout, Astralis will expect a change. So we may see both teams playing very differently in this next round. Second AWP purchased by Nitro. Twist hasn't bought just yet. 56.50 for him.
His T-sides are scary, James. I would really like to see Astralis to continue and just keep testing that long control straight away at the beginning of the round. I think that's definitely been a good look for them so far. And we've not seen anything but a struggle from Team Liquid when dealing with it. They usually lose an AWP in that position, and here it is. Dupree going for the fast peek. He's got the AWP. The flash goes over the top. The flick will miss. And then they'll have to back away. The CTs have it now, and now they can start dispersing back into normal positions. Ooh! Device, he tried to get cheeky there. He was punished.
He did indeed, but Nafly with an AWP, that is a very big clue. If Naf has a sniper rifle, they have to know that there are 2 sniper rifles. Nitro will be on 1 as well. Now how can Astralis adjust a man down to deal with that? They made a play towards long earlier on. Didn't get anywhere. Now sometimes you can expect that nobody will be long. The CT side will just leave it alone, because if the T's retake it, you'll expect to hear some grenades. Liquid though continue to show their presence. Oh, it's the wall of smoke. Old school again. If there's a pit player, it isolates him, and Liquid are forced to abandon. He's been oh, it goes back through with a flashbang. At least he sees 3 people, or 2.5, but he's dead.
So smart from Astralis. You know, there's many ways to skin a cat, as the saying goes, and they just play a delay. They wait for them to disperse until there's less players along, and that's when they go and retake it again. And they've got 45 seconds to play with. They can double back into other positions. Team Liquid can't know for certain until they see them and get the information. And here they go. Nitro with the AWP. Smokes, though, really making his life difficult. He doesn't have a clean shot anywhere. Falls down to elevator. Maybe has to go all the way to CT spawn here. Still, no engagements offered to Nitro. 4 players left here for Liquid, and the bomb goes down for Astralis.
Dupree picked off while Astralis make their way to the site. What? What? 4 versus 2 though, make it 3. Elige picked off on a short position. 2 players from CT and 1 is pretty far behind. I think Astralis are confident that long is safe for the time being. They'll come to support Zipex, who's doing more damage. That's 2, he's got 2 more to go. Trying to burst onto Taco, and there it is. Very cool execution from Zipex. And then Zipex becomes the bait, and Magic's Boy makes it easy. What an animal.
You can just see Device in the booth, just ear-to-ear banana grin right there as he just watches Zipex just annihilate everyone. It's so awesome to see this. Zipex, look how proactive he is in that peak. He knows that he can catch a player pressing W, moving forwards. If he catches them moving forwards, he knows it's a guaranteed kill. He gets that, plays the tapping game, and he wins out. Zipex showing his experience. Once again, 12 rounds now for Astralis. Let's not forget, they won the first map on Mirage, 16-14. They win this one. They take the title. Liquid need to find a way back in because it's starting to get out of hand.
7 of 7 rounds in this second half. Liquid fighting for scraps. They want to bowl for themselves, but the Astralis keep dragging it away. 2 versus 2, and despite these frags, Liquid, they haven't picked up any weapons just yet. Still down to the pistols. You wonder how many bullets Elige has. He has 8 bullets left. He has to find something. You can see he's rotating. I think he's going round the world just to try and pick something up because he's so low. Both players are, in fact. So this is smart from the point of view that they're very likely to pick up some weapons now.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like that gentleman's agreement, isn't it? Where you have Astralis conceding, covering them and deciding to get the bomb plant. Team Liquid give up the bomb plant, and in so doing, knowingly give away guns. It's all okay though. In the post plant, they know they're going to have an advantage here. Nafli doesn't have any Kevlar. There's no grenades, I don't think, to be picked up. Maybe there will be, we'll have to see. Okay, there's an HE. Well, that's the least helpful grenade in this situation, one would say, for the CT side. And they're going to make their way in through the upper dark position, the tunnels. Let's see if they're able to accomplish something. Device can play the baiting game, and then Zipex can just capitalize. That's the setup. Or he's trying to go for the frag.
But it's the AK that takes him out. 2 versus 1 now. Where is Zipex? Nafli going into the pistol, and there it is, the pre-fire. There's no time for Elige to even defuse the bomb, I don't think. But you all went in first, so that was a rough one for Team Liquid. They could do with every penny at this point, even with max loss bonus.
Wow. Zipex is having fun, man. Just this guy, he gets more powerful the later a tournament goes on. He's looking so on form right now, just so crisp in each of the clutches that we've seen him in. To think that there was a day in which his performance was questioned and he was about to be cut from the team. That was quite a while ago at this point, but still, what a guy.
All 8 rounds in the second half have Astralis' colours on them, every single one. Again, the high smoke, the low smoke. Elige gets a kill regardless. There are 2 people in the B bombs, like Nafli coming out with some flashbangs maybe, but he gets taken out. But Taco keeps the numbers in Liquid's advantage, but he's isolated, he's alone. Glaive avoiding the flashbang in CT. Does Elige push through? Glaive has to do something. We've got a flank coming in from T spawn, but will Glaive be looking for this as he comes in? He is, in fact. Twist looking away, maybe expecting a flash, I don't know, but might have had his mouse cord stuck or something, but he's dead. And now it's advantage Astralis, and it's Liquid saving all the rounds in this half for Astralis.
Yeah, I mean, you really see the struggle on the CT side, especially, again, when you have this situation where the maps just re-entered the pool, and a lot of these lineups have to reintegrate it, and a lot of these lineups are so very different back to, compared with when the last time that we had this map in the pool. So it's tough, that CT side, very difficult when you're on the back foot. Astralis really hitting the ground running on the T side, and as you mentioned, James, they're looking flawless at the moment on the scoreboard as far as the second half is concerned. And I've seen multiple players on Astralis now smiling and just looking like they're having a ball of a time. There's got to be, they're feeling it. They know that they're so close to the win here.
Liquid trying to stave off a match point for Astralis. They force around the 2 weapons they saved. They have a lot of grenades, but they don't have any rounds in this second half. So who cares about utility at this point? They've got to start winning. Elige goes 1 for 1. There are 2 more CTs there, but Astralis thought they were going to back off, but they thought they had an advantage, made a play. The person carrying the bomb, but they were confident in what they were seeing, and they were correct. Nitro moving to the car position, Twist on A. Liquid lacking info.
Yeah, it's such a painful situation. This is the classic Dust 2 spot as well. If you create a 4v4 situation, well, as I say, that Nitro gets a fantastic shot. He is somewhat committed in this position, but if he just hits shots, then he's going to be fine. There's not a lot of utility to push him out of position. There are a couple Molotovs, and he'll get out of there just as the Molotov comes in. One step ahead there, Nitro, and that's just enough to be safe here and give his team a chance. Zipex will creep forward, so and they're going to continue to pressure this position. How much more can Nitro do with that AWP? We've seen ridiculous stuff from him with this gun time and time again. And Astralis just don't have utility here.
Does he go forward? Does he go back? Does he just hide in the Gandalf position? He is in a very weird spot with this AWP. He might have to bait his teammates now. They have the man advantage for the time being, but it hasn't done him so well, so good in a lot of these rounds. Notably, Astralis' on-the-fly smoke grenades aren't really doing the job on the cross, but they've still been safe. Now Zipex is alive in a post-plant position. That does not bode well. Nitro finally playing his hand. Slave taken out, and now it is Magisk alone. 1 versus 2. I think he knows where Nafly is, but Nafly will win the duel on this occasion. Liquid are not far away, and they started winning rounds in some of these games when they've really been under pressure. They could hardly be under more. 2 snipers saved for Team Liquid, 3 rounds away. But Astralis have got bags of cash.
The decision-making from Nitro in this round was amazing. The 4v4 situation like that is usually incredibly difficult for the CT side to play out. But the way that Nitro was able to, hit the shot, just wait for the perfect amount of time, he really made the difference there for his team. Highly impactful. And he will give them a fighting chance, as Astralis are, as you say, 2 rounds, a mere 2 rounds away. But we saw how long it took them to get just 1 round on Mirage. Now we get some presence on Catwalk. No fast, long pressure. Oh, Device gets a pick into the B-bomb site, though. That's Taco out of the picture.
Nafly is outside. See a support flashbang from Nitro. Lots of grenades flying in, and he sees a rotation from one player. He's got to start moving, though, but Nitro's going towards, I think he's looking over the boxes. Didn't want to make the play towards B, so B is open because Naf is still outside. They had the support, they had the boost player to try and avoid those smokes from Astralis, but they've conceded the B bomb sites in the meantime. 4 versus 5 retake attempts to try and avoid match point. If they try and retake and they lose, they have nothing for the next round, so it will be a save from Team Liquid.
What a brilliant call from Team Liquid as well. We had Astralis. What a brilliant call from Astralis. We had Team Liquid. After they lost a player in B, they're suspecting that a B play can come in, but instead of just stacking players in B, which is a horrible situation for you as a CT, because you don't want to put a lot of players on a bomb site. What if it's not that bomb site? Now you have the most incredible rotation time ever. You don't want to put yourself in that position. You want to have a better option, so you want to put your players in middle. And if you do that, which is what they did, they can catch a B split, and they can fight against a B split, which is a very likely way for Astralis to try to punish that round. But Astralis is so smart, they realize this dynamic, and they just go for a 5-man push straight into the tunnels, in through to that B bomb site. That was a genius call, a great read on the map, and it's given them match points. Championship point.
They were just shy of overtime in the previous map. Can they do it this time, Team Liquid? Nafly Nitro in the middle position. Elysian Twist moving down long. Dupree is charged through the Molotov. And he could take somebody by surprise. He may be activated later, we'll see. He is joined by 2 more teammates. They are backing off, and maybe a takeoff short is in order. A simple A split. But look at all the Liquid players now. There are 4 of them around the A site. They are expectant of Astralis, and there is a very forward smoke, but they're lacking info. They need Taco to survive on B, and Magisk is lurking in that direction.
Now one thing here as well, we have another dynamic at play, that you take that long control as the T side. Now you're thinking, okay, how does this impact the CT rotations? What kind of formations are they going to use when they've lost long? And we see it here, much more cat presence. We've got Magisk over there, but everybody else is over towards long. Now having catwalk gives them a place to retake from. But they have to be suspicious of the split. So they're looking now for information into middle. We've got Nitro trying to see, okay, what's going on over here? Are we going to see a split? Yes or no? There's actually 4 players barreling up towards the A bomb site, and Team Liquid has to concede it.
Elysia's flanking long, but for some reason Magisk didn't hear him. He just ran up short above Magisk and he heard nothing, or maybe he did. He didn't react though. Oh, Nitro's going to get shot in the back of the head, but there's Elysia. He must win this duel. He does, but it's a 2 versus 3. Taco coming in from spawn. The nade flying in. There goes Taco. Dupree moving for a double pick of his teammates, but he can't get there fast enough. 2 versus 1, and that's it. Astralis are your ECS Season 5 champions.
It got a little bit hairy there for a while, James.
Speaking of hairy, there are half-naked men on the stage. A lot of support here for Astralis.